Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Dozer Den. If you have not yet smashed the like button yet, go ahead and give it a good smashing. Thump that like button. Caress the like button. Have your way with the like button. Lean in real close to it. Whisper sweet nothings in its ear. And then just pound away. Because you got to from time to time, guys. You got to from time to time. I really hope we're actually live. Hope my camera and my mic are getting picked up. Hey. Look at that. It's actually doing it. Bit of an echo going on, though. Good. Yeah, I don't know why my logo wasn't showing. That was weird. Not sure what's going on with Canvas 2.0, but I'm sure it'll get figured out eventually, right? We'll see. And if you hear screaming child noises in the background, well, it's my 3-year-old being a butt, not wanting to go down to bed. So, he was down. Mostly asleep. And then I, go to start the show and he starts screaming again. So he has all his needs met. Don't worry, everything's been met. He's just out of sorts. Not really sure why. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of out of sorts today, guys. Not been in the best mood. Honestly, been a terrible Tuesday. But I'm here, and we're going to be talking about stuff. We're really not going to be talking about politics stuff because I'm getting more and more disenchanted with the whole process. Just pissed off, honestly, about some stuff. Like, for instance, Pam Bondi getting appointed to another role within the Trump administration. Yeah, fuck that guy for that. And, it's with AI stuff, so that's great. And that's somebody who you definitely want working with AI. Pam Bondi, Scam Blondie. Yeah, good pick, Trump. Good pick. Hey, Ken Paxton's doing good, though. That's a good thing. The Republican establishment spent a whole lot of money to try to go against somebody who's outside of the establishment. But hey, that's whatever. So we're going to talk about the moon. That's what we're going to talk about today. Moon base is on the way, guys. Moon base is on the way. And then maybe we'll talk about a prison guard. It was reported as a prison warden at first. A sex-crazed, sex maniac of a prison guard. That might be the second topic that we discuss. We'll see if I'm feeling froggy or not. I don't know. But we are definitely going to get into that moon topic here in a minute. But I have some things that I want to share with you guys first. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment, repost, all those good things, guys. All those good things. And if you want to support the channel monetarily, you can. It's an option. Rumble Rants, gifted subs. Also, we got Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. You can donate directly to the Dozer Den household with those options. We got Venmo right over. Oh, where'd it go? It got really tiny really quick. That's what she said. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. We'll leave this one over here. Let me get rid of this one and then pop it back up. There we go. That fixed it. Venmo, PayPal, and, there's Cash App if you want to donate directly to the Dozer Den household. You don't have to, but if you want to, there it is. You can also shower the chat with your love. Hit that red present box. And you can help people get access to a plethora of wondrous, stupendous, fantabulous emotes. Some animated, some not. Hopefully all kind of entertaining. You can help light them up. Light their comments up, their username up in the most beautiful shade of MAGA red. And they don't have to worry about ads when you get gifted a subscription or when you decide to subscribe, whether here or thedozerden.locals.com. And so, yeah, all kinds of stuff you can do. Biggest thing, liking, commenting, sharing, that's the biggest things. So, reposting definitely helps, guys. We're on Pilled, we're on Rumble, we're on X, we're on BitChute. If BitChute's going, let me check on BitChute, because BitChute's been gay. Had a whole long-ass show on Saturday, which, by the way, thank you to everybody who showed up on Saturday. It was a damn good time. We'll see if the BitChute is working. Probably not. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. BitChute's actually working today. Cool. We do have 25 subscribers on BitChute. Actually just hit 111 subscribers on YouTube. That was kind of cool. I think it's just because of the shorts that I've been posting. By the way, you guys, check out my shorts. If you like some just random bits of entertainment and just feel good bits of just like, I don't know, time that you can spend just watching nature and stuff like that. That's some of the stuff that you're going to be seeing in my shorts. I mentioned YouTube and I got a notification about got 13 new subs, so that's cool. If I have to step out at some point, sorry, the kid is being a butt, so, there's that. But yeah, guys, it's a night. It's a Tuesday. It's the first day back after break, so, it's a bit of a day. Let's show some positivity, guys. Show some positivity here. Had a fighter that got beaten, and he got beaten by a veteran. And afterwards, he wanted to know how he got beaten. And this guy did a really cool thing and actually taught him. This is cool stuff. Anyway, is that a Darce choke? Is that what that's called? It's like a so I'm used to a ground choke in judo that I learned in grappling, where you're on top and then you have a hand go behind the head like that, and then you like arch up on top so they're on their back, and you like go up underneath and then kind of lock in like that, and then you can do it's a pin, but it also can choke them out. Look at that. Some positive energy. Thank you. Look at the positive energy. Also, speaking of positive energy, thank you to Handy News for raiding the stream over there on Pilled. We got 16 people that popped up to say hello. Thank you very much for that. What? 20 minutes. Actually, no, it's too late. No. No. Yeah, he's just fussing. Love you too. What's up, guys? Thanks for the raid. Guys, if you haven't followed Handy News yet, follow Handy News. What's up, Paul McGroin? Good to see you. Got a screaming 3-year-old on the other side of the wall. He's had all his needs met. Trust me. He's just being a butt. So, good to see everybody over there on Pilled. We got Highway Dog, Handy News. We got Shackleford. Grumpy fucker, which I am today. Not gonna lie. Mr. So, especially after that Pam Bondi news, guys. Did you think she was gone? Did you think she was gone? Trump pulled the fucking rug out from underneath us on that one, and she's gonna be working in a capacity with AI. Great. Good decision. I'm so happy about this. Fucking foil dunce cap for Bobble Trump on that one. What the fuck is Pam Bondi coming back into this administration for? Why? Does anybody have a good explanation? Is there a 78D chess explanation for that one? Because I don't have one. Nope. I ain't gonna pretend I do. Not happy, not pleased. But anyways, more positive energy before we get into the moon stuff. We're gonna watch a moon thing, guys. This is just you know what? This is just cool. This isn't a volcano exploding from the aerial. I think it's a drone. You know the truth? Volcano. So at this point, it's hitting the air, so it's lava, right? There's under the Earth's surface, it's magma. Once it hits the air, I think that's when it becomes lava, right? Isn't that true? Good to see you, Paul McGraw. I hope your studies are going well. Not in the best mood today, but I'm going to try to quell that. Watch this volcano explode and then play some moon stuff, because I'm really excited about the moon stuff. If you don't think we already have a moon base, that is, it'll be a brand new moon base. We might be shocked at how quickly it's manufactured. Or constructed, rather. Look at that. Look at that. The Earth is exploding upon you. What's up, salty old fart over there on Pill? Oh, there that was. Look at that. Okay, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the thing. Oh, we might talk about this at some point. Thanks for the red pills and the reposts over there, by the way. The whistleblower apparently from the CIA, which sounds like garbage, honestly, claimed whistleblower from the CIA claims CIA used DNA data from Ancestry and 23andMe to search for customers that had alien DNA. I kind of doubt it. Just a tad. So, I'm gonna have to go address this boy here in a minute. What's up, Sanglant? Good to see you. Oh, definitely don't forget to follow me on Locals, X, Pill.net, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, all the places. Why not? But no, seriously, really quick though, if anybody has a good explanation for why Pam Bondi is coming back into this administration in any capacity, please let me know, because I don't have anything, and I'm really grumpy about it. So, definitely not. Like I said, are they new moon bases? Are they moon bases that might have already been there before us? Maybe, maybe. By the way, if we hit $50 worth of donations on any stream, guys, I'll put on a fancy hat. If we're talking about moon stuff, we're talking about moon bases, it might have to be the Illuminable. I don't know. We'll see. But let's go ahead and get into this press conference or so. From NASA, we're sharing the latest updates on NASA Moon Base, our lunar habitat where astronauts will work and live. Exciting stuff. I'm not going to lie. I am actually excited about it, so let's get into it. I think we're right about where it starts. And I'll be kind of pausing and reacting to it and adding a little bit here and there. Right now I'm going to go talk to the boy.
Four brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
Good afternoon, and welcome to NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. Today, we're joined by agency leadership to share updates on the moon base and discuss NASA's progress towards establishing a sustained presence on the lunar surface. I'm George Alderman, NASA Deputy Press Secretary, and I'll be moderating today's news conference. I'm joined by NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman, the head of Artemis, Dr. Lori Glaze, and the Moon Base Program Manager, Carlos Garcia Galan. We'll be taking questions both in person and through our phone bridge, so media interested in asking a question, please press *1 to enter the queue. Today's briefing is focused specifically on the moon base, so we ask that questions remain within that scope. And now we'll begin with opening remarks from our speakers, beginning with Administrator Isaacman.
Thanks, George. Thank you, everyone who's here today, those from industry leadership, our new Deputy Administrator, Matt Anderson. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in online, also from industry, from our NASA centers, from classrooms, and really those all across the country. Many that are watching are from the interested public. They're excited about the moon base, the latest status, what comes next, and how this grand return to the lunar surface will begin. Now, that curiosity is exactly what NASA is supposed to inspire. It means people are looking up again, believing in big things again, and paying attention as America returns to the moon again, and this time to stay. Now, you can't undertake and achieve the near impossible, like establishing an enduring presence on another celestial body, without many contributing to this mission. It starts with leadership at the top, and I would like to thank President Donald Trump, the bipartisan commitment from Congress, industry for adapting to and meeting the moment, our international partners for standing alongside us, and the tens of thousands of the best and brightest across the NASA workforce whose contributions make all this possible. I'd also like to begin by walking through the timeline that has brought us to this moment, because there's been a lot of progress in a very short period of time, and it's important to understand how deliberately your space agency is progressing. On December 18th, President Trump signed a national space policy that reaffirmed America's commitment to leadership in space, to return to the moon, establish an enduring presence, to build the moon base, to invest in the next giant leap capabilities, to ignite an orbital economy, maybe even the foundations of a lunar economy, and launch extraordinary missions of science and discovery. On March 23rd, we shared with the world exactly how we intend to achieve the vision called for in the American Space Superiority Executive Order. We hosted an event we called Ignition in this very room with nearly 40 Artemis Accord signatories and industry partners in attendance. Then on April 1st, we took an incredible step in the right direction when the clock hit zero and Artemis 2 got underway on an epic test mission of science, discovery, and integrity, bringing the amazing crew home safely to Earth.
Sorry about that, guys. Had to calm the boy down. He was in all kinds of out of sorts, so it was not good. Thank you, Handy News, for the 100 gold pills back-to-back. I needed some cookies. Thank you. 70 orders waiting for them to make a 3D printer good enough so they can print out everything they need on the moon and Mars. That would be kind of cool. That would be. And thank you for those $1 donations over there on Pilled. If it was over here on Rumble, it would be blue. And guys, we have this thing that when the chat goes blue, we have to do something. We have to play a blue sound. And if Studio's working, it'll let me play this. If not, then oh well. I built it up for nothing. Let me see. I think it's right here. Things move around on me. I'm not sure why. That is not what I want to play. Where is she? Piper Ellie, where have you gone? I think she's right here. Ah, she is right there. Check her out. Get it, Piper Ellie. Get it. There it is. That leg kick does it every time. All right. I hope I didn't miss anything fun yet. Yeah. Sorry about that. He was he needed a little attitude adjustment, and then he just needed some consoling. Mostly that's what it was. Just needed big old bear hugs. He's good now. I hope.
Just 10 days later. Now, as I said before, NASA is not a procurement organization. We will not sit on our hands and wait for industry to deliver. Just in decades past, the expertise and determination of NASA will help drive the intended outcomes. On that note, in the time since Artemis 2, we have been extremely active.
You know what?
We've been reviewing feedback from the
Isaac Min is going to be the transport method on how we get through the Earth's atmosphere. They're going to use his ears to get us to a certain point, and then launch the rocket off from atop his head. Most likely, Harry Joe.
Ignition event, speaking to industry, addressing supply chain challenges, having the tough conversations with those failing to meet expectations, and offering NASA's assistance to solve problems and doing the other hard things that should be
Good God, look at those things. Those things are at least half of his, mass of his head. Wow. Wow. It's truly spectacular. You know what? That's not nice. That's not nice. He can't change it in 5 seconds. Lady Dozer says, can they change it in 5 seconds? No? Well, then why are you making comments about it? And I was like, you know what? That works for the kids. That's a good rule of thumb for the children. I'm an adult. I can be a jerk if I want.
Expected of the world's most accomplished space.
No.
This summer with a target launch in mid-27.
Okay.
Across the agency, our astronauts, controllers, and principal investigators have been completing...
The next Artemis launch, is that just going to be another... Is that going to be another time around the moon? Like
Science on the International Space Station. We've been flying more X-planes. We've been formulating the next X-planes. We've been getting ready for the Nancy Grace Roman telescope, ready to launch this summer, and welcoming, again, a new deputy administrator with Matt Anderson. On May 22nd, in a workforce note, alongside a series of directives, I announced investments in the NASA organization into our centers to meet the urgent priorities outlined in the National Space Policy, focus resources on the most pressing objectives, strengthen and empower the workforce and agency leadership. And today, May 26, we're very pleased to update you on some of our progress. America is returning to the moon. We are working alongside our many international and commercial partners.
Unless we already have bases there. I will say, if they just happen to be constructed very, very quickly, that would be interesting.
To leverage the incredible capabilities from commercial industry to build a moon base. For all we hope to accomplish in this endeavor, what we are embarking upon is extremely challenging, and we know so little from what is a combined 80 hours of lunar astronaut EVA time across the Apollo missions, and that was more than a half century ago. So we are not jumping right into the glass dome moon base as a service. As we announced during the ignition event, we intend to take an iterative approach, sending a demand signal to industry for a lot of landers and rovers and tech demonstrations and all the scientific payloads these missions can accommodate. We are leveraging the NASA playbook from the 1960s, figuring out what works and what doesn't in this.
Okay, here's just a question of ignorance here. Are those things, those panels in front of him, are those teleprompters? Do they have, like, the teleprompter, like, the speech up there? Like, he can see it, but we can't? Is that what's going on? Or are those there for something else? I'm not sure.
Epic science of survival, because the moon base is as beautiful as it is hostile. In sunlight, the surface can heat to over 250 degrees. In darkness, it can drop well below minus 200.
Teleprompters.
In the permanently shaded craters, areas of great interest that have been untouched by sunlight for millions, even billions of years, temperatures can fall well below minus 400 degrees. There is no atmosphere to moderate these extremes, no protection from radiation and solar particle events, and the surface is exposed to meteorite impacts.
So, okay, there's no atmosphere. The temperatures are crazy. Someone said we're going to have drones on the moon. Like, flying drones? If so, how? Because the propeller thing isn't really going to work. Is it? I don't know. I'm not a physicist.
Including the kind of light flashes
Maybe just like they're talking about like rover drones. Maybe he'll explain it. Maybe if I'd be quiet for a second and let the super fancy guy say something about it. They're the new foil hats. Yes. Nice.
Artemis 2 crew observed from orbit. Recognizing this reality, I'm often asked why we send our astronauts into such hard...
Real quick, why isn't this bigger news? Why aren't more people talking about this? I think this is pretty cool. I mean, Elon Musk posted about it, so that's pretty big. But, like, you would think more people would be like, oh, damn, that's pretty cool. It's got almost 1 million views. That's something.
Harsh and dangerous and unforgiving environment of space or the lunar surface, and at such great cost. And we go for the technology we will pioneer to get there, the science and all that we will learn that will make life better here on Earth, to advance humankind on this master the skills for where we will inevitably go next. I want to acknowledge the speed of the NASA Moonbase team and all those that are supporting this effort alongside industry to bring us to these announcements. So we are discussing 3 Moonbase missions and a series of additional awards with more missions to be announced in the months ahead. Now, Moonbase 1 will be the first privately funded lunar lander mission in history. The Blue Origin Mark 1 Endurance lander will deliver multiple payloads to the Shackleton Connecting Ridge, a strategic area of the lunar South Pole. In addition...
I gotta wonder, though. Oh, the boy's crying again. This is awesome. With the... Shit, I lost my train of thought. Helicopters... No, it'll come to me.
To flying 2 NASA science payloads, SCALPs, a lunar retro-reflector array. The mission objective is to demonstrate critical capabilities that reduce risk for the human landing system missions. On that note, every mission...
I was going to say, so you saw the craters, right? All the ridges and stuff from the craters. the moon attracts a lot of, it's like part of our defense against space stuff. So, how are we going to protect our bases from that? Right? Is this not a critique, maybe, of having a base there? Maybe if you put it on the... I guess you put it on the side of the moon that's not... But that side of the moon that's facing us has been hit by meteors as well. I don't know. Prayer?
Support of the lunar
Sometimes
base
works.
helps us learn and de-risk crewed missions, but this one is especially important because of the role Blue Origin plays in the Artemis program. The target no earlier than launch date is the fall of 2026. Moonbase 2 will be the largest commercial payload delivered to the lunar surface ever, though in this Moonbase endeavor, we certainly hope to be breaking records on nearly every mission. The Astrobotic Griffin lander will carry more than 500 kilograms of cargo, including Astrolab's FLIP rover. This will ensure the capabilities necessary to support future lunar terrain vehicle
lasers to defend against the meteors. This is the purpose. Exactly. We're going to get a giant space laser. Not Jewish space lasers, okay? No. Be the Moonlander. Don't be a coward. Be the Moonlander.
ability. Moonbase 3 will expand our scientific understanding of the lunar surface. This mission will deliver the first payload selected through NASA's PRISM initiative, a program that brings together universities, researchers, and industry through open competition to solve scientific questions. The anchor scientific mission is Lunar Vertex, which will study lunar swirls, one of the moon's most intriguing mysteries.
Swirls?
Now, these unusual formations appear brighter than their surroundings, as portions of the lunar surface are somehow shielded from the effects of the solar wind. Understanding why they exist could improve our understanding of how the lunar environment evolves, how surface materials change over time, and how future infrastructure may...
So there are parts of the moon that are not affected by the solar winds, and they're not sure why they're not affected by the solar winds. Again, might there be bases on the moon we're not aware of? Interesting. Relation to Earth already spins from any other point. Interesting.
Perform in these extreme conditions. The Moonbase 3 landings will also deliver payloads from ESA and the Korean Space Agency, demonstrating that the future of lunar exploration is an international effort. Moonbase 2 and 3 are targeted to launch before the end of 2026. Now, these represent the first of more than a dozen missions we expect to announce through the balance of this year as we return, build the base, and never give up the moon again. And as mentioned, just like in decades past, we are taking the world...
Guys, India. India has already claimed the moon. Have you guys not seen the completely legitimate footage of them going to the moon?
...with us. Though this time, and eventually through the power of orbital observation and communication satellites, we will do so with impressive detail on the Moonbase website, which launched, I believe, in the last hour. The website will be a central hub for announcements, for mission updates, for imagery, video, solicitations, and procurement awards, and all the latest breakthroughs from NASA industry and academia.
I'm tired of that.
Now, just as the world paused...
We also send like $40 million a week to the Taliban. America. Fuck yeah.
To take notice of Artemis 2 and its historic mission, this website and all the associated moon-based missions will inspire students, instill curiosity, promote internships, and encourage them to work in industry as scientists, engineers, pilots, and astronauts to build hardware that will go to the moon and to control it.
The Nazis got there first. They even made a documentary, guys. Gosh.
From Houston. Perhaps even themselves to walk on the lunar surface as they grow up and carry the fire during the golden age of exploration. So for those waiting patiently, the grand return is close at hand, and we will not slow down. We are moving with the confidence and the purpose to accomplish the missions that only NASA is capable of achieving, and we are really just getting started. And now I'll hand it over to Dr. Lori Glaze.
Nice green dress.
Right. Good afternoon. It's good to see everyone here. Wonderful to see all of our colleagues and partners here today. Thank you so much, Jared, for setting the tone of what truly is a pivotal moment for human exploration. We have several exciting announcements ahead.
What an unfortunate last name. Glaze. Speaking of moons.
Including new awards and new partnerships that will accelerate our progress for Moonbase. But first, I do want to talk a little bit about the foundation that makes all of this possible, and that foundation is Artemis. The incredible success of the Artemis II mission has taken NASA from proving what is possible to making the extraordinary routine. Just last month,
check on the boy again.
humanity
I'm sorry.
returned to deep space. And I know Jared already mentioned this, but I'm going to take a few more minutes to talk about this. Artemis II is not only a historic journey, it was a comprehensive test of NASA's capabilities as we push farther from Earth. The Space Launch System delivered our crew to orbit with precision. The Orion's life support systems, navigation, communications, camera systems, and heat shield all performed well. Each of these successes validated the technologies and processes we'll rely on as missions become more ambitious and more complex. Where the systems didn't perform as expected, we gained
He just wanted the ceiling fan on. That was it. Getting hot.
important information to help us improve on
I need to get one of those split level air conditioners that you put on the wall. Apparently those work pretty well. It's like $300, $400 though. That's a bit.
future flights. But Artemis II also validated something just as critical: how humans, science teams, and mission operations work together in deep space.
But apparently
this
you can't
mission
make a
gave us
toilet that
real-world data about how our astronauts live, work, communicate, and adapt outside of low Earth orbit. Knowledge we can't perfectly simulate on the ground. Artemis II gave our operations and science teams the opportunity to collaborate in real time, practice integrated decision-making, and refine the workflows that will guide lunar surface activities and eventually our path to Mars. While Artemis II carried out significant scientific observations, the mission's science was fundamentally about enabling exploration. The crew served as both scientists and test subjects. They helped us understand how to collect data, operate safely, and coordinate crew, flight controllers, and science teams to accomplish our objectives. The human research and biological and physical sciences data they collected will help us better understand how humans respond to the deep space environment. And the stunning imagery and observations they returned of the Earth, of the moon's near side and far side, of impact flashes in the shadow of the lunar eclipse, all were as much about improving our operational readiness as advancing scientific knowledge. These moments remind us why we explore: to inspire, to learn, and to push human presence farther than ever before. The crew captured the iconic Hello World image of Earth from Orion, revealing once again just the beauty and fragility of our home planet. They photographed the moon beyond Orion's solar arrays with Hello Moon, marking the beginning of humanity's return to deep space. And as they passed behind the far side of the moon, they helped us practice vital science processes that will shape future missions: observation, documentation, interpretation, and teamwork across thousands of miles. Artemis II proved that NASA is ready for the next step. And that next step is coming fast. Artemis III will conduct critical integrated tests in Earth orbit, including rendezvous and docking with our commercial partners, the commercial landers. Artemis III hardware, from the SLS core stage to Orion's modules to lander partner systems, is moving into final integration and flight readiness development. And Artemis 4 and 5 hardware is already flowing to the Kennedy Space Center from other centers and partner facilities around the US and the world. We're moving toward the cadence necessary for a sustained deep space program: steady, accelerated, and continuously learning as we prepare to return to the lunar surface. And that then brings us to the future: Moonbase. Moonbase will be home base for our Artemis crews and will encompass long-duration stays, expanded robotic and human capabilities, and an enduring presence on the lunar surface. Everything we tested and learned on Artemis II, the systems, the teamwork, the operational tempo, feeds directly into our ability to build a system.
This is like I'm not gonna lie, I'm like nerding out about the prospects that this opens up for our world. Like this, having a base on the moon and being able to refuel or launch even from the. I mean, if you can launch from the moon, like I don't know if that's a possibility. I mean, I think it is. Like that's gonna save so much on fuel because we expend so much fuel just breaking through the shell of our atmosphere. Like getting to the velocity that you need to get to break through and get into space. If you believe in space, that is. You know, it's really, really interesting. People talking about this, and I guess it just depends on if it comes to fruition or not, right? Is this just going to be one of those things where it's always a government program that they're working on for decades and decades and decades and then nothing happens? Or is this going to be something that actually, you know, has promise, has actual results? That's what we need. We need results on this, because it's getting us interplanetary could lead to some really interesting things, I think.
Sustainable foothold on the moon. With Moonbase, Artemis astronauts will stay longer, explore farther, and conduct the kinds of science that advances exploration itself, understanding how humans operate off-world, how we build infrastructure, and how we prepare for Mars. As you'll hear from Carlos in a moment, only 2 months after ignition, we are already taking concrete steps through new procurement awards and new partnerships to turn this vision into a reality. We are building humanity's first outpost beyond Earth. Through Artemis, we are going, and with Moonbase, we're going to stay. And together, NASA, industry, and international partners, we are creating a future where exploration is not just an incredible moment in history, but the first foothold beyond Earth for all of humanity. So with that, thank you, and it is my pleasure to hand over to our Moonbase program executive, Carlos Garcia Galan, to take you through the next steps in building Moonbase.
I wouldn't be surprised if it got constructed very, very quickly. No, maybe not, probably not. What's he holding? Does he have props? This guy has props.
Good afternoon, everybody. So as the administrator and Lori alluded, we have been busy since Ignition Day. We have been working to align all the agency resources across NASA to basically deliver on this objective of building a moon base. We've been establishing the architecture and the strategy to enable it. We've been reviewing your inputs and your ideas through the RFI for moon base capabilities. We have been visiting industry and going to centers across NASA.
Is he going to try to get us to pay for something? There's a card sticking out. Is that like a card reader? Is this a cashier? Does he own a 7-Eleven? Is this what's happening? I don't know.
To number one, share the vision and talk about it. Get your ideas and also see what capabilities are out there that we can use as tools to develop this.
Comment.
We have been working on the solicitations that we projected and broadcasted during Ignition Day, which is what we're going to talk about today. You go to the next chart. I'm going to give you a little bit of an outline of the things that we're going to be doing today. First, we're going to start where we left off, talking a little bit about the phase objectives and the assets that we're going to be talking about. And
so let me look at this outline real quick. So we got Moonbase progress, Moonbase development overview. Oh, look at that. Phase objectives and assets, progress on phase 1 milestones, CLPS lander awards. Okay, and by awards they mean who's getting the contracts. LTV delivery, LTV awards, lunar something vehicle, lunar, I don't know, something vehicle, lunar terrain vehicle. I bet probably. That is a deep state card. He is retarded. Makes all the sense, Harry-Tone. Makes all the sense. Moonfall status. Moonfall, like Skyfall? This is a 007 film? Bond. James Bond. I'm here for the alien, big titty babes. CLPS 1.0, Moonbase payload delivery awards, next-gen lunar cargo landers, technology priorities, and demonstrations. On the lunar horizon, those last three.
Discussing milestones 4. Then we're going to talk about key phase 1 milestones with awards for landers and lunar terrain vehicles and Moonfall carrier spacecraft. And then we're going to talk about what's in the lunar horizon in the short months ahead. So let's get started. This is a chart that kind of describes the vision that we delivered during Ignition Day. We envision the moon base to be hundreds of square miles with
This is a nice graph. Is he going to go through this graph, or is he just going to show him? What's up, WS Hawks fan over there on Phil.net? Thanks for the red pill and the repost. Also, impressive beard, at least in your profile pic. Let's see. Achieving the Vision Moonbase timeline. Phase 1. Oh, God. Oh, God. Hopefully there aren't binders with Phase 1. I hope to God not. Phase 1. Build, test, learn. Phase 2. Establish early infrastructure. Make moon potatoes. Potatoes from the moon. Lunar fries. And then Phase 3, sustained presence. So we've got 2029, now to 2029. Build, test, learn. That's okay, 3 years. 2029 to 2032, early infrastructure, semi-annual crewed mission. Okay. Well, that's cool. And then, so it doesn't sound, sounds like we're probably not going to be back to the moon until the next administration. Whoever's going to be in charge then. Unless it gets scrapped, who knows. Bureaucracy be bureaucracy.
Different assets, all building up to the objective of permanent lunar presence on the moon. To get there, we're going to break it up in phases, and phase 1 has already started. From now through 29, we're going to work to make sure that getting to the lunar surface is a high reliability endeavor. Many assets we can deliver there. We're also going to test and experiments the science of survival, as the administrator said. We're going to experiment on the things that we know are ahead of us that we're going to need to build a permanent infrastructure, which is happening on phase 2, and then permanent habitation on phase 3. To do this, we're building and working on many different systems, from transportation to mobility, and we've broadcasted a pretty high cadence of missions that will help us to get there. Phase 1, for example, will have 25 launches, 21 landings, and we're planning to deliver about 4 metric tons of cargo to the surface of the moon. And we want to graduate from that to 60 metric tons to 100.
So we're just going to be dumping a bunch of stuff on the moon. That's what we're doing, huh? The moon people are not going to be pleased. Moon moles, guys. Moon moles. Mark it down. 5/26/26, 9:46 p.m. Moon moles. Sam, did you planning for the theme park on the moon, like on Futurama? Yes. You want real moon boots, like I was sold in the 80s? Yes.
50 by the time we get to phase 3.
I remember a Hey Arthur episode of where there were moon boots. They looked really cool.
If you go to the next chart.
I got moon boots in the 90s, and they weren't as cool as they were advertised. They kind of sucked, and they broke, and I was sad.
When you think about the lunar surface and the endeavor of building a moon base, is going to be extremely hard. And it dawns on us every day how little we know of the lunar surface. We did the Apollo program, we've had lunar probe, we've had spacecraft, robotic spacecraft that have gone back to the moon, but we have explored very little. So we envision multiple assets, those 21 landings, is to deploy many types of assets in different areas where we have objectives for science, or we think it's a good place to develop the moon base. We're going to have landers, small and medium class. We're going to have constellations of satellites that will enable communication, navigation, pointing, observation. We're going to have rovers and LTVs. And also, we're going to have drones. So, to talk about all of those assets, we're ready to make the first major award. And that is, something we advertised during Ignition Day, is for the LTV delivery landers. Oh, yeah. Through CLIPS program, we requested task plans for delivery of one or multiple 1 metric ton class NASA.
It's not like they do some predictive programming of video games or film or anything like that. So it's funny how the map looks a lot like this one space building game I play.
Payloads to the South Pole region. In the base period of that task order, we'll basically ask the vendors to finalize the mission design, integrate and develop the integration plans, execute.
I don't think they want that fertilizer saying that stuff from India is toxic.
Long lead hardware procurements, design and test the payloads, and demonstrate the compliance of the payload delivery system to the surface. Then in subsequent options, if everything goes well, they will build the lander spacecraft. So, the long-awaited moment for the delivery of all the LTV awards that we're going to announce today, NASA has selected Blue Origin.
So Blue Origin is Bezos's with, I guess, Amazon. Blue Origin's going to do the LTVs, so the Lunar Terrain Vehicles. sure same plan? I don't know.
All right, give everybody a round of applause to Blue Origin. Congratulations. Blue Origin's lunar lander product line has two variants. Mark 1, which is the uncrewed version, is what we're going to be using for the delivery of the LTVs, and Mark 2, which is the crew lander mission. So using Mark 1s will also reduce the risk for future crewed missions there. Mark 1 is the same type of vehicle as Endurance, which is featured in Moonbase 1, the first mission to the lunar surface. Mark 1 type of spacecraft is also going to deliver the Viper rover later in the fall of 2027.
This guy looks sassy.
So congratulations, Blue Origin, and we are looking forward to this partnership to deliver the first lunar terrain vehicle as part of Moonbase program. Thank you very much and congratulations. So now we get into the awards for the lunar terrain vehicles. In this case, we're going to award two of them. As the lunar roving vehicle during the Apollo program, the LTV will give astronauts the ability to further conduct scientific research around the moon. But it's going to do a lot more than that, because in this case, we need it to work all year round. We need them to be on the surface doing things that basically prospect the surface, scope around to potential landing.
Well, they I think have had two flights where they landed the booster. I think that's what Blue Origin's done. So they're making the LTVs. So it sounds like they're not going to be transporting them necessarily, unless I missed something there. Which I mean, I know it showed the gold line thing, which maybe they'll be sending a couple rovers or LTVs, lunar terrain vehicles up there. That's just what it'll be. But yeah, it's kind of odd that they're. I think SpaceX is still going to be involved, but it seems like they're kind of splitting up the work, like they're compartmentalizing a little bit with different space transportation companies.
Sites or go to areas of deep scientific objectives. So the LTVs we're going to announce today are both crewed and autonomous rovers. They're a mix between the Apollo lunar roving vehicle and a Mars-style rover. The LTVs will have a mass of about 1 metric ton, or a little bit less than that, and will have to be in a configuration that is kind of compressed to be able to fit on those landers. Each one of the vendors is going to do that in a different, ingenious way. They're designed to traverse about 200 kilometers from where they're dropped off, which is 4 times greater than any rover has ever traveled on the moon or Mars. They can be telerobotically operated by people on the ground. They can work autonomously. And of course, when we have human crewed missions, they'll be driven by the humans. These things can go up to 10 kilometers per hour and go up and down slopes of like 20 degrees.
Okay.
So I'm going to get ready to announce the first LTV award winner, and that is Astrolab. Congratulations.
Okay. So wait. Blue Origin is the one that's going to be sending this thing up, and then Astrolab is going to have the LTV? Is he misspeaking? He said LTV earlier. Yeah, a bunch of female celebrities went. That does not count. That is not what I'm talking about, Harry. So that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one that did like the landing, like the SpaceX booster landing and like landing vertically into the ocean. I've seen one where Blue Origin did that, I think. Okay, that's what it was. I must have missed something. I was distracted. I haven't seen that one. He does look giddy. I'll give you that. He does look excited, 17 George.
Astrolab has adapted its Flex rover architecture to deploy the Crew Lunar Vehicle number 1.
Astrolab, do they call their craft capable of flight Astroglide?
So give him a round of applause. Congratulations.
Yes. Applaud my horrible pun.
This new vehicle is smaller, lighter, and can accommodate up to 2 crew, which is what we asked for during Ignition Day, to be able to test and develop the capabilities as we go. Again, it has autonomous capabilities. It can be teleoperated, or of course the crew will drive it. CLV-1 has a maximum mass of 950 kilograms and can reach speeds up to 10 kilometers per hour.
That's right, Harry-Toe.
Astrolab is also building the Flip rover, which has a lot of the features that will then be carried over to the Lunar Terrain vehicle. Astrolab is using subs like Odyssey Space Research, Axiom Space, and Interloon as the subcontractors for that. So imagine the first rover, because we're going to have cameras, we're going to have payloads, roving around Mars and basically bringing us with them in real life, going to places we have never seen of the moon, testing us and giving us key ground truth data so we can build on that. Again, one round of applause for Astrolab. Congratulations. The second LTV provider, which I'm going to announce now, is Lunar Outpost.
Okay. I honestly didn't know about Lunar Outpost. I've heard of Astrolab and Blue Origin. Lunar Outpost I don't think I've heard of. Oh, that one looks a little bit beefier. Ah, look at that. Flexing on him.
In response to NASA's moon-based initiative, Lunar Outpost unveiled a new class of rover called Pegasus, which is what we're going to deliver to the surface of the moon. Pegasus is a pared-down version of Lunar Outpost Eagle lunar terrain vehicle. Pegasus is a lighter weight and will be ready to fly on earlier missions as we've asked and demanded. They will do things like autonomous driving, terrain mapping, and identify future potential moon-based sites. Pegasus can carry up to...
Let's figure out why the moon has an echo, or sounds like a bell getting hit when it's struck by something hard enough. Let's figure out what that's about. Is it a density thing? I don't think we ever got a good explanation for that, did we?
2 crew members and travel 10 kilometers per hour on the lunar surface and, like I said, go through steep slopes and terrains. They're partnering with General Motors, Leidos, and Goodyear as key subcontractors for the vendors. So give Lunar Outpost a round of applause. Congratulations.
Moonfall.
These awards are incredibly important to the next steps of Phase 1 because we have to be able to move around.
Oh, snap. Internet is hiccuping. Oh, no. Oh, what's up, Don Darkstar? Good to see you. Sorry you came in late. Is this supposed to be...
the surface and start looking and gaining the knowledge we need to build up on the moon base.
So, Don Darkstar, the images they're showing is just, CGI. But the press conference is real. They're going to be doing this. No, it's definitely CGI stuff. It's artist renditions of what they plan to be doing on the lunar surface for purposes of this presentation, where they're awarding contracts to different space companies, which I didn't know there were that many space companies. I knew of SpaceX and Blue Origin, and I've heard of Astrolab. I didn't know about Lunar Outpost and one of the other ones that he mentioned, but the moon is hollow, the Earth is flat, and Sassy the Sasquatch is all real. Yes, 100%. I agree.
Part of that also is Moonfall, which is the lunar drones that we advertised during Ignition Day. Moonfall is the first lunar drone capability that we're going to have, and it's going to accomplish different objectives. The first is demonstrate the technology. It is going to be the first robotic mobile platform with the range to quickly explore sites interesting at the lunar South Pole. Like the administrator discussed earlier, the variances in lighting, thermal gradients are...
So this is going to be like a propulsion? It's a propulsion kind of system here, I guess it's going to be using. To go up to 1 kilometer up? Huh. Okay. Dominion After Dark, when a female celebrity goes down, it can end up on YouPorn. Going down for real.
Gigantic on the lunar surface. And we basically have a range of 1 meter dedicated information on the different areas we want to go to. So in that 1 meter, if we're wrong or if we're off a little bit, those ranges of 400-500 degrees in temperature can be a key aspect that we need to overcome. So these drones will allow us to go, cover a broader range of areas that we unprospect and get that ground truth. It can demonstrate the ability to take off and land in multiple locations with precision under South Pole lighting conditions and terrain features. Also, it will utilize available electronics so we can develop them quickly and deploy them where we need. One of the key things that we want to put on these drones is survive the night technology. So not only can they accomplish the mission, they can hop, go to multiple locations, but they can also survive the long lunar nights. So when they get sun again, they can serve a permanent objective wherever they ended up at. It could be observation, it could be communications, or something else. Another key objective is site characterization. So we'll be able to map the surface at centimeter scale resolution, not meters, centimeter scale resolution, allowing us to beef up our.
So that's the trajectory they're showing. Normal drone hop. So it's going to be like a hop, and then I guess using some type of propulsion method to keep it up. Permanently shadow range. So it'll go up to 3 miles or 5 kilometers. Altitude 2,600 feet, 800 meters. Excuse me. So that's half a mile. Time 140 seconds. So it's going to do all of this in a little over 2 minutes. Huh. Interesting. What if it's going to be using air? Is it going to have air canisters being used? I don't know. I notice Big Brown Beaver might be mistaken for a Sasquatch.
Orbital databases and reducing the risk for future landings. It will prospect for water and ice in the subsurface of the moon. It can go look into the surface of the moon about 1 meter in depth across tens of kilometers. It will also characterize the radiation environment before we send other assets or crews to the surface and provide a geodetic framework for navigation using retroreflectors. Whatever we put these drones, it will provide much more of a capability for precision landing for whatever landing is coming into that area. And then we'll have cameras, of course, on all of them and be able to observe around the territory. The next objective is imaging. So in the picture that you see on the screen, you have the current capability on the right and what we're going to provide on the left. So high-resolution imagery across all mission phases, including the deployment, the landing, and nominal operations of staying in situ or hopping around. It will continue image collection during extended mission, and it will analyze the different sites for unprecedented detail.
So is that one supposed to be representative visualization? Okay, so, everyone knows Jews own space. Harry Toe coming in with a $5 Rumble rant. Thank you so much for that. Gets us to $7 on the night. Oh my goodness. My goodness, guys. $7 on a Tuesday. Hell yeah. Appreciate the heck out of that. It is very, very kind of you. Guys, don't forget you can hit that red present box to shower the chat with your love, or spray the chat with your love, whatever verb you want to use. I'm not going to judge you, okay? But it does make me a bit excited, guys. And yes, definitely, everyone knows Jews own space. That's yes, happy crabs. Happy crabs. Are there moon crabs? Should there be moon crabs? Probably.
And basically allowing us to build our understanding of soil mechanics, the terrain, the lighting conditions in situ of wherever we want to go. It will help us build a digital terrain map of different landing sites on the moon and prospect moon-based sites.
I thought there were things we
so
could mine
all
from
of
the moon,
those things are going to be critical for
elements.
continuing
Lithium,
understanding of where we're going. The last part I wanted to talk about that we're hoping to achieve is to establish a moon-based perimeter. With 4 or 3 lunar drones, Moonfall, we're going to be able to basically put them at the corners of the areas where we think we have either key scientific
Helium-3.
objectives or
Really quick.
we want to build that.
Guys, I was curious about this. I was wondering, if we're on the moon, why couldn't we mine some of the elements that are on the moon, right? So some of the things that you can mine on the moon, according to AI on Brave, I think it's Brave. Nope, it's Google. Damn it, what did I do? I opened Safari. Mining on the, so it says water or ice, helium-3, isotope extremely rare on Earth but embedded in lunar soil by solar winds, highly lucrative target for potential futuristic nuclear fusion reactors, rare earth metal and minerals, essential elements like silicon for solar panels and semiconductors, titanium and aluminum for lightweight space construction. Lunar regolith, the powdery topsoil, can be 3D printed into bricks for building habitats, landing pads, and protective radiation shields. Interesting. Well, there's a brief oversight from Google AI there. Bet there are no moon crabs, but definitely Mars crabs. Yes.
The moon base. And maybe in their final hope, like I said earlier, we can give them a function, potentially be a beacon, provide those retroreflectors to be able to get more precise landing, even be the first lunar cell tower, if we choose to do so, by coupling the survive the night technology with different instruments and, of course, cameras for observation. It'll give us a tremendous capability. And like I said, for phase one...
Like, they're probably not going to be talking about this. They're probably not going to be talking about it in this press conference or even, like, on the up. They're probably going to keep it on the DL, talking about mining. But that is going to be a conversation when there are companies that are sending craft, drones, rovers, infrastructure to the moon. You know, one of the next things they're going to be doing is trying to mine some of these things, like helium-3. And if they can use some of the soil there on the moon, like the topsoil, to 3D print it into bricks to protect themselves from radiation and stuff, that's kind of cool. Hopefully you don't deplete the resources of the moon. That'd be kind of sad and would kind of lend credence to the comparison to locusts that, you know, some people think of humans as. But, you know, whatever.
Moonbase is just a demonstration of capability. We hope this will work out and we'll be able to evolve that capability. I'm picturing the future of Moonbase, where we're starting to plan areas where we're going to send the crews or rovers to robotically go to a specific crater or area of interest. We can deploy these drones. Some areas we can even reach with lunar terrain vehicles or rovers. So this could be a critical capability to allow us to get to those objectives. So something has to take the lunar drones Moonfall to the surface of the moon. And we're ready to announce that JPL, our partner developing the Moonfall drones, has selected a carrier spacecraft, and that is Firefly.
Firefly or Firefly? Oh, the hype videos, guys. These hype videos, are you ready? Are you ready for another space company hype video? I know I am. It's a sick beat. And they cut me off. Right when I was
All
getting
right, congratulations. Big round of applause for Firefly.
Firefly. Damn, that's cool.
So Firefly is going to build a version of its Elytra dark orbital vehicle for this mission. Firefly's first vehicle is built on the same systems that successfully landed and gave us that mind-blowing video of reaching the surface of the moon. That was the CLIPS Blue Ghost mission that flew and successfully landed last year. They're working with JPL on the part of the mission called Cruise, Deorbit, and Braking Stage. So the Elytra vehicle will basically carry the drones from Earth into lunar orbit, then slow down, and at a certain altitude, it will deploy 4 or 3 drones that will then take the mission on their own hands. They'll finalize the landing. They'll land probably about a mile apart from each other and carry on from the mission there. This is a very exciting mission that you can see a picture of the carrier vehicle there. We can't wait to get started and actually see these things deployed. Congratulations, Firefly, and glad to partner with you guys on this. All right, so we're done with the award announcement, so a big round of applause for all of you. now gets the hard part, which is delivering on time and having successful missions back to back. Okay, now I want to talk about what is on the lunar horizon. So the first one I want to talk about is CLPS 1.0. During Ignition Day, basically we said we're going to use the CLPS construct, which was doing scientific commercial service payload delivery to the surface, to continue on and provide the landers that will carry our assets to the surface. And we declared two things. We were going to contract for the LTV delivery service, which we just announced, and we were going to also expand the number of missions to carry payloads, whether scientific or technology demonstrations. Those announcements are coming back and coming up in June. So stand by for that, and we're going to declare the award winners for several of those missions to add to the Moonbase portfolio. We're also working on additional task orders for low and mid-sized class landers through 1.0 to potentially deliver additional technology demonstration payloads. So all of that is also coming up soon. And then in Ignition Day, we talked about CLPS 2.0. So 2.0 is really the next generation lunar cargo landers.
Don't forget, you can hit that
we are
repost
accepting
button,
proposals
guys,
to that
on
June
Rumble.
30th, and early in the fall or even late in the summer of 2026, we'll announce the companies that are eligible to participate on that. And it's going to be a very quick turnaround between making those vendors eligible to when we start contracting those missions. CLPS 2.0 is built on the successes of CLPS 1.0, but we're giving ourselves more flexibility. There's going to be ability to do tax orders on end-to-end service. There's going to be ability to basically just buy a lander and be able to couple that with launch service and also technology demonstration payloads, which we may procure or build on our own, and we'll be doing the integration of all of those missions in-house. Again, full end-to-end service, in-house, or a combination of. And we're going to be using that and advertising providers eligible and missions through CLPS 2.0 with the next generation landers pretty soon in the next coming months. And then one of the things that we were wanting to do pretty fast is basically establish the architecture, set the priorities for the technology that we're going to need in phase 2, and then map that to the tech demonstrations that we need to do in phase 1, all these landers we're just talking about. We've narrowed the field of things that we're interested. There's many things that we need to perform, including survive the night and all of those things, but we really want to focus on developing the mid-sized cargo delivery. This is going to be accomplished through CLPS 2.0. In power infrastructure, we're talking about solar and potentially nuclear, also smaller components for surviving the night. We're looking at 2 to 15 kilowatts of power generation, up to 20 kilowatts potentially if it's a nuclear system, and hundreds of kilowatt hours of the storage capacity. We're also wanting to explore initial cargo mobility and logistics, which is going to be a huge key element of permanent habitation, and then Pathfinder habitation mission.
Really quick, Scott Cohen, in underneath a Good Logic's post, decided to be a bitch-made boomer boy. I said, hey, for asking questions in response to him saying that, Massey's gone full riff retard and stuff. Scott Cohen. I said, for asking a question, I said our government is the biggest threat to liberty in America in the comments. And I get from Scott Cohen, shut the fuck up, the adults are talking here. Get back to your mom's basement. Okay, boomer boy. Nah, and I don't care that you're a veteran either, dude. Be respectful. I wasn't mean to you. Don't be mean to me.
We have 2 BAAs today across the agency, not just Moonbase, which are soliciting ideas, and we'll be using those to take proposals, not for studies, but actually building hardware. The study is going to be put the thing on the surface, test it out, learn from it, and then actually graduate that to be
I agree, Harry
part of the
Hell
architecture. So that work is going on now. Okay. Hey, that was all.
Talking. What a God, people on the internet are cunts sometimes. I don't understand. Like, talk to me in person like that. Just doubt you would. Doubt you would, Mr. Scott Cohen.
A lot. So this wraps up the first Moonbase status. where in just 2 months, we've covered awards for new landers, lunar terrain vehicles, and moonfall carrier spacecraft. Soon, we will be statusing progress on the additional landers. Like I said, we'll also be going to be talking about international partner contribution agreements, which we're actively working on, awards for technology demonstration missions, and the selected companies to build the next generation landers. As Artemis 2 showed us, literally, we're just a tiny body in this universe. But we're in the business of expanding our horizons, doing the near impossible, building the moon base. We're making history together. Thank you very much. And now we're going to transition into the answer questions from the media. So, George, back over to you. Thank you.
Very
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you all. As you can see on stage now, we're joined by models of the landers and vehicles from Blue Origin.
That's what I was. I had my eyes on those little models. Look at those things. I think these. I think those are cool. I really like the little ones.
Astrolab, Lunar Outpost, and Firefly. We'll now start taking questions from the media. We'll start in the room, and if you're joining us via the phone...
a little Q&A here, figure out what's up with these things, huh? So there's Lunar Outpost, and that one, I guess, is the Astrolab, the flying one. Seriously, Astrolab should have been making the ones, the drones that are going to be doing the hops, and you definitely should have called them Astroglide. Just saying.
Bridge, please press *1 to enter the queue. We also have in attendance today subject matter experts who will help answer some of our questions, but please direct your questions to our speakers that are on stage. As a reminder, today's briefing is focused specifically on the moon base, so please keep your questions within that scope. And please ask one question so we can get to as many of you as possible. And we'll circle back if we have time.
All boomers.
We'll now take
just the
our
ones
first
that
question.
Get disrespectful because they think they are entitled to do so. I don't understand. I like actually a lot of boomers. My stepdad is 84. No, 85. No, he's gonna be 85 this year. Did I just do I have a black friend? Maybe.
In the front row, yes.
Want to hold it? Okay. Hi there, Kristen Fisher.
We got another $5 Rumble rant from Harry Toe. Google search. What we got? Tommy Boy. Let me pull this up real quick. Thank you for that. The hell of a post there. Tommy Boy. There's several Tommy Boy toy options exist from Mattel. Kelly Cloud features. I'm not sure what that's for. I'm confused, Harry Toe. Oh, is this supposed to be for a YouTube video? Tommy Boy. If that's supposed to be a video or something you're wanting to share, just let me know what you're trying to find, and I might be able to look it up for you. Because that looks like it sent the wrong link, Harry Toe. That's what I would do with those space toys. Oh, here it is. The toy car scene crash. That's what you were looking for. I got you. Okay, I found it. I just had to scroll a couple there. So Harry Toe wanted to share this for a $5 Rumble rant. So this is what I would do with those space toys. Tommy Boy. Demonstrating high science. Okay? High science indeed.
Say you're driving along the road with your family, and you're driving along, la-li-la, woo. And then all of a sudden there's a truck tire in the middle of the road, and you hit the brakes. Whoa.
Yes.
That was close. Now let's see what happens when you're driving with the other guy's brake pads. You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it. Truck tire. I can't stop. Help! There's a cliff. And your family's screaming, oh my God, we're burning alive. No, I can't feel my legs. Here comes a meat wagon. And the medic gets out and says, oh my God. New guy's in the corner puking his guts out. All because you want to save a couple extra pennies. And to me, it doesn't...
Get out. Now.
Do you validate
Now.
Okay, thank you.
This is high science. High space science. Yes, Arito. Thank you for that contribution. That's exactly how it would go. Okay? That's when Harry Toe's in charge. That's what we're doing. That was beautiful. Back to this. Chops. It's like I'm describing the American two-party system, illusion of choice unity. Yep. Yep. I feel you there, Chops. I feel ya.
With the Endless Void, my question's for Jared. Jared, China has said that it's studying lava tubes as potential sites for future bases. They just put about 28 taikonauts through cave training for about a month. And so my question is
It's not doing it. God, is the internet alive? Did the internet die on us? It says it's sharing, or it's trying to share. Give me a moment. Let me check. Let me see. Nope, it is not sharing. Give me a sec. I might have to do a refresh real quick. Let me try something really quick here. Let me actually just get rid of that. Stop screen share. Start again. Add a stage. It did it that time. Hell yeah. What's up, Into Bushes? Good to see you.
Taking place right now at NASA about
$12 on the night,
exploring
guys.
lava tubes, underground lava tubes, as a possible site for a future second base, or is everything focused squarely on the moon's south pole? Thanks.
Well, I would say that we are very focused on the first moon base, but we in these conversations, we do discuss that we are aspiring to have a lot of outposts on the lunar surface. And I think cave exploration has been part of, at various times, our own astronaut program training as well. So we certainly see value in that environment. I don't know if you'd like to add anything, Lori.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit on it there. We have actually done a lot of work in the past at looking at
what's up
caves
over
for
there on
being
YouTube,
able to
Harry Toe?
protect human crew from radiation, the harsh radiation environment. So certainly there's been a lot of research there. And certainly something that could be part of, as you said, as we start to expand our reach, could be part of that.
Yes, in the white.
Thank you so much for this briefing. Lenka White with RIA Novosti. It's very interesting. I was curious on international cooperation. Let's say there would be a moon base 4. Are there any talks about possibly cooperating with international partners on ISS-style cooperation on the moon with partners like Roscosmos and others? Thank you so much.
So we are having a lot of conversations with our international partners. I don't know that this is going to be quite in the ISS style. This may be a little different. We're having a lot of individual conversations with various international partners about the types of missions we could collaborate on, where they're either providing payloads or they're providing a capability that we'll work with them on. So there's a lot of that discussion ongoing right now. I think there's a lot of excitement with the international community about different ways they can participate and collaborate with NASA on these various missions, from small-scale payloads all the way up through very large systems like the pressurized rover or habitats. So we've got a pretty broad range of conversations ongoing.
Yeah, we'll be statusing you on that in upcoming moon-based status mission. It's status briefings.
This will be second row in the suit.
Oh, of course. Thank you for taking my question. Sergei Imotov with the Russian TASS News Agency. My question is for Administrator Isaacman. So to follow up on international cooperation, do you expect to...
Moon basing, not to be confused with free basing. No.
Discuss lunar exploration during your upcoming visit to Baikonur this summer? And as just as a follow-up, do you also expect to discuss the integrated crew flights and extending the agreement with Russia?
I would say whenever I've had my discussions with Director General Brekhanov, we usually give updates on our respective space programs and progress. So I fully expect we'll be discussing the International Space Station and what that continued cooperation will look like through the remaining life of Space Station. And I am sure we will also discuss generally what NASA has planned for our lunar missions on the horizon. In our last conversation, the Director General was very kind to discuss the Artemis II, so I'm sure.
He kind of looks like Eric Foreman, right? He looks like Eric Foreman from that 70s show, but his ears are bigger. Now I'm just hearing red. You know. What you doing over there, in the bushes? I see and then You doing accidental reposts? I don't know.
It'll be a topic again. Our next question will come from the phone bridge from Marcia Dunn with the...
What's that actor's name? The guy who plays Eric Foreman. I knew it at one point. Because he played Eddie Brock in one of the Spider-Man movies. Really haven't seen him in anything else since then. Can't listen to this BS all the... Oh, I got you. Yeah, there's a lot of that. And people... These guys are... I mean, I guess the Isaacson guy should be doing a little bit less of that. Could be part of their thinking process, I suppose. But that's where... I just didn't... That's where you do a pause. Or breath. Instead of the or the He doesn't look like him? Topher Grace. A little bit. I don't know. I'm going to look him up. Alright. Maybe not. Wait. He kind of does. There you go. That picture looks like him. What's up, 30-something media? Good to see you. Really quick. So we were just looking at him. Now look at Topher Grace. I kind of see it. They could be like cousins. Maybe. Younger one, not so much. Older Eric Foreman. I can see it. You know. So we got that. Keep that in your mind. Alright. Get rid of that. Back to NASA man. Isaacson.
AP.
Yes, hi. Probably for you, Carlos.
On the horizon. In our last conversation,
Nah. Maybe a little. Cousins. I'd give them cousins. Shit. Share again. There we go. The ears, my God.
The Director General was very kind to discuss the Artemis II, so I'm sure it'll be a topic again.
Our next question will come from the phone bridge from Marcia Dunn with the AP.
Yes, hi. Probably for you, Carlos. When people think of a moon base, they think about people living there full time. And what do you envision? When do you envision that happening? Where visiting lunar astronauts are not just going to be camping out in their capsules for a week or so, but when do you think that there will be a real base with habitats, and when might that happen, and how long might their stays be, and how many astronauts do you envision on the surface at any one time? Just paint me a picture of the future. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. So in the three phases we've described, we hope to have some sort of habitation capability in phase 2 with the pressurized rover. That will be where the astronauts can land on their human-rated lander, hop on the pressurized rover and basically work and explore the moon on a short-lived environment. And then from there, go to different locations where they can get out of the pressurized rover, perhaps hop onto a lunar terrain vehicle, and even go farther with EVA suits. In phase 2, we'll be building permanent infrastructure, including laying out a power grid and things like that, all building up to what it takes to do permanent habitation. Permanent habitation is not just about the asset, but it's
power structure. So we're gonna have solar fields on the moon. Maybe
about the whole train of logistics that we would need to have set up in place.
This guy's doing a decent job with his public speaking. Not very many uhs and ums, even though I just did another one. Hooray.
To enable that. So I think we'll go from this short duration missions to longer stays using some of these assets to basically, long-term flights, not potentially permanent, but with crews coming to the surface twice a year, we can expand the time that they can spend there before they come back home. And then eventually, when we've matched the assets, habitation modules, with the logistics and all the things to move the logistics around, then we'll be able to say, hey, we're permanently here and we're not giving it up.
Databases up in space instead of messing up rural
Next question
areas.
will come from Eric Berger with Ars Technica via the phone bridge.
Hi, thanks very much for doing this. This is a question for Jared or Carlos, I think. So Carlos referenced the moon-based perimeter, and I'm just curious, having looked at the Artemis Accords, is this a safety zone you're trying to create? And are these areas basically where non-Artemis Accord signatories, should keep out of? Thanks.
I think it's important for us to get there first, and I mean when I say that, meaning let's get there and actually achieve what we're intending to do with the Hopper drones. It is a first of its kind, which is why JPL is tackling it. I think we do want to get there and explore them, and we also obviously want to be very mindful of the Outer Space Treaty, so that we are respectful of other nations that are putting assets on the lunar surface. We would expect that to be reciprocal, but I think that's just one objective of many that the Moonfall drones intend to accomplish, as Carlos discussed. I mean, this is going to be scouting. There's going to be comms on it. There's going to be observation capabilities. As the primary objectives of that Moonfall asset.
Our next question will be from Will Robinson Smith with Spaceflight Now via the phone bridge.
Wait, Will Robinson? Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Hi, everyone, for taking the time to speak with us. Question for Carlos, I suppose. With the LTVs that were announced from Lunar Outpost and from Astrolab, about how far is the driving range of those? And I ask because I imagine while still being examined, the amount of ejecta that's going to be kicked up by either Starship or Blue Moon Mark II is going to be quite dramatic. And so I would assume that the LTVs can't be placed too close to future Artemis landing sites. So how far apart are these assets going to be placed, and are you expecting them to sort of go to and from future Artemis crewed landing sites? Is that the plan? Thanks.
Yeah, good question. So I'm going to actually bring in some of our Moonbase team experts, starting with the acting director for surface mobility, Robert Pickle. And by the way, I'll just introduce them all for future questions. We have Najib Naransi, she's the chief architect of Moonbase, and Brian Stephan, who is the acting director for Cargo Lander. So Robert, take it away.
Yeah, sure. Great question. So protecting for PSI, we plan to keep the LTVs approximately 2 kilometers away when the landers land, and they'll traverse in, be able to pick up the crew, and then do missions up to like 10 kilometers during the crewed period, and then uncrewed, like Carlos said, total of like 400 kilometers throughout the lifetime.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll go to our next question with...
That was a good question.
That'll be from Jeff Faust with Space News on the phone bridge.
Good afternoon. What is the dollar value of the various awards you announced this afternoon to Blue Origin, Astrolab, Lunar Outpost, and Firefly? Thank you.
All right, good question also. So Ryan, take it away. We'll start with the service delivery of the LTVs, and then we'll go to Robert for the actual LTV awards.
Yeah, I don't want to do math real time, but each individual award to Blue Origin was $234 million per mission, so 234 times 2.
Yeah, and each LTV award was $220 million.
That was not necessary to include them, to be honest.
We'll go to our next question in the room.
I mean, he probably had memorized, I guess Carlos had memorized his parts, and he needed them for backup. You know, they were assists. They were assists. They were the number guys. I'm not mad at you, Carlos. And you know what? You got the team some airtime too, so I'll take it.
The blue and white tie.
Hunter Ryerson from Pirate Wires. For Administrator Isaacman, NASA's made developing the orbital economy a major priority, and as well, an interplanetary civilization doesn't get built by one government alone. How do NASA's moon-based plans contribute to the achievement of these goals? And further, how does moon-based support future missions to Mars?
Yes.
Great question. First, I think, as I've said many times, it's extremely important to ignite an orbital and ideally a lunar economy. I don't believe that we are going to, have that true kind of spacefaring world we may have imagined as children reading science fiction books if it's perpetually funded by taxpayers. So it is vitally important that we figure out what, generates value either in the unique environment of microgravity or on the lunar surface in excess of the cost that it takes to go into it. I don't have any great answers for you other than we are sending a demand signal that hopefully will reveal it. I've said many times we can't force a lunar economy into existence. I suspect in the years, decades ahead, as we build and operate what's hopefully multiple, let's just say, lunar outposts, that we will uncover something along the way. Having a good, a lunar economy developing would be a nice capability out of all this to realize. But I've said many times, like we could put a demand signal out for, 50, 100 landers like we're procuring today. I couldn't tell you who's going to buy the 51st or the 101st someday if it's other than NASA, but this is at least a step in the right direction. Now, to your point on how does this help us get to Mars, look, to be very clear, that is the primary objective out of this. As I mentioned during my remarks, there's a lot of great things that will come from having a outpost on the moon. It was only a matter of time that we'd want to have our astronauts interacting, not just in, they've done microgravity for more than a quarter century, but now let's interact with the lunar regolith. Let's have, there will be scientific discoveries. Let's land rovers with radio telescopes to go to the far side of the moon. Let's ignite an orbital economy. These are all things that would be nice to have and achieve along the way. But really, it is to have an environment where we can work with the water ice and master the skills for where we go next, which is Mars. And it would be nice to do that when you're 4 days away from home, than many months away from home. So that is overarching. Why build the moon base? Again, there's knowledge that can be had. There's technology that we will develop that will help life here on Earth. There's certainly going to be a whole lot of inspiration that's coming out of this for the next generation. But number one, we want to be in an environment where we can learn the skills so that astronauts can go and plant the stars and stripes on Mars someday.
Take another question from in the room, in the front row there in the black.
You got it. Sorry, Sid. Hi, Audrey Decker from Politico. Thanks for doing this. Quick funding question for the administrator. When can NASA start using the Gateway funds that were passed in the reconciliation package last year for the moon base, or do you need any congressional approval through a reauth bill or a PROPS to start using those? And then more broadly, could NASA provide any more specifics about how, it plans to fit all of this into the budget and the increased CLIPS missions? Thanks so much.
Sure. Well, I think just as I mentioned during the various budget hearings I attended, in order to achieve the ignition objectives, it's important to look at all of the funding sources. So we obviously have the $10 billion plus up from the Working Family Tax Cut Act. We have the FY26 appropriations, and then we have the 2027 President's budget request, which we believe is more than adequate to meet our exploration goals. In fact, a large portion of the $10 billion was in exploration. And in terms of congressional notification, I'd say generally, I think should be pretty apparent there's strong bipartisan support around a moon base. I see pretty regularly congressional leaders coming out and, interacting and retweeting with our commentary on it. I think they're all excited for American astronauts and eventually our allies to be on the lunar surface itself as opposed to orbiting above it. And as I mentioned, we've already provided now the notification to Congress as expected for any of the organizational or funding line mechanics that need to be addressed.
Our next question will come from the phone from Ken Chang with the New York Times.
Hi, thank you. I guess this is for Jared or Carlos. When is the timing for landing the LTVs, and how does it fit in with the Artemis schedules? Before Artemis 4, between Artemis 4 and Artemis 5, or later? Thank you.
So certainly we want to have a LTV. We picked both of them in the crewed version of that, even though we can operate them robotically before the Artemis 4 mission. And we'll certainly try to line it up so that crew has an LTV to go explore around. So it's absolutely an objective. And then we'll, see how the development goes on. But, we plan to have LTVs for the crews coming to the surface of the moon. And again, the LTV strategy, which we signal in ignition, is that instead of developing one very capable but also complex and putting all of our eggs in that basket, we're going to develop multiple. So this is, if you will, phase one of LTVs. After we test out the two that we just awarded today, we expect to have more opportunities for same vendors or other vendors with more capability and incorporating the lessons learned that we learned through the operations of the two that we have.
Yeah, and if I may jump on this, because it hits a couple questions in this room. It talks to the lunar economy, the question about habitability that came up before. When are we going to actually keep astronauts on the moon for some period of time beyond just whatever the lander in itself?
I'm really glad he came back around to this one, because this question did not get answered.
Will support. We are digging up the playbook or dusting off the playbook from the 1960s here at NASA. Like, we are going to get back to this iterative approach of learning. We haven't been on the moon in a very long time. I have no doubt we are going to learn an awful lot from the first couple lunar terrain vehicles, and rather get a few of them on the moon as soon as we possibly can, alongside the first crewed missions. So we can get astronauts interacting with a rover again for the first time in again, more than a half century. And I have no doubt they'll come back and give us feedback that will inform some of the phase 2 LTV awards, where we'll progressively add more capability from things we learned.
I am surprised they haven't mentioned SpaceX, at all. At all. I know SpaceX is doing a lot of stuff, like cargo deliveries for the ISS and stuff like that. Putting up satellites and whatnot. To not even mention SpaceX here, though? I'm assuming they're going to be helping bring things up to the lunar surface, right? I thought. Russia and China announced plans to build a joint moon base beginning in 4 years, 2030, with a miniature nuclear reactor. Use that helium-3 that's up there, Sartorius. Why not?
From autonomous functions, you're doing the same thing when it gets to habitability, right? I think... clearly, as Carlos mentioned, we were probably going down the path of one extremely exquisite, all-encompassing.
There were a couple cool forums on Reddit with UFO encrypted stuff that had some interesting things, and then you just, if you divert even slightly from Marxist ideology on Reddit comments, you get, it's just a bunch of toxic nonsense, honestly. There are some interesting bits of information there, though. So, God bless you for braving those waters, Chopside TMZ over there on Build.
Rover before. That doesn't help stimulate a lunar economy at all. That's it becomes an all or nothing event, nor is it just the right thing to do to learn to get to what should be the ultimate state rover, maybe many years around down the road. Same thing is applicable for habitability. Doing lots of landers, demonstrating different capabilities in this incredibly harsh environment is a way you stimulate a lunar economy from all the various commercial players, but it helps us get to the state instead of just trying to drop a single all-encompassing habitation module and hoping it works out. So all of this comes together for an achievable path for mobility, for the astronauts themselves, for logistics, for autonomous operations, for habitation, and for stimulating a lunar economy. Hopefully that all makes sense how it's coming together.
Our next question will come from the phone bridge from Irene Klotz with Aviation Week.
Thank you. In addition to the time frame of the LTVs, what's the time frame for the JPL Moonfall mission? And I was wondering if the scope or the funding for the newly renamed Moonbase 1 through 3 missions has changed from when those were originally awarded under CLPS. Thanks.
Okay, I'll take that. And I'm going to ask Najud also jump in if you want to add anything to what I'm going to say. So first of all, the first moon base missions that we've declared, what we were already had on contract, we're doing things a little bit differently with those. We want to make sure that the reliability is there. And we're putting all the resources of NASA, including test facilities if they need them, in play here. So we're not necessarily changing the timeline because we already had a contract with them on when that was going to happen. But we're basically putting all of our assets in play, including experts, facilities, know-how, whatever it takes to make them successfully before they get to fly and when they're flying. So Moonfall is also something that is a phase 1 asset, so by 28. And we're still doing some trades on number of, it's going to be 3 or 4, and what's the pluses or minuses of that. And then I'm going to turn it over to Najud to kind of add on, why that and how these missions maybe interplay with each other.
Yes, a lot of the priority for the Moonfall early on is to get them in the locations to do the reconnaissance on the important locations where we want to deploy the rovers, the science, the power systems that will follow. So being able to integrate all these missions across time and adapt the learnings from them is very important as we establish the architecture for Moonbase.
And our next question will be from in the room. They're in the back in the third row.
Hi, I'm Dan Vergana with Scientific American. I'm wondering if there's any update, maybe this is for Lori, on the timing for picking the Artemis 3 landers. There's a lot of Blue Origin landers today. When do you have to make that decision for that Artemis 3 mission that Jared said is a year from now, mid-27?
Yeah, we're already moving forward pretty strongly with both Blue Origin and SpaceX on their lander concepts.
Okay. There's a mention of SpaceX. Took an hour and 3 minutes because I started about 2.5 minutes in. An hour and 3 minutes before SpaceX was mentioned even once. But hey, they are going to be working with them, so that's cool.
So we're already moving in that direction with both of them. There's a lot of trade studies ongoing right now just to make sure we've got the mission designs right and the right objectives for those. But we're already moving out. It will be the version that Blue Origin is working on for that mission. Yes.
Next question in the front row there. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jack Gordon. My question is for everybody, I guess mainly for Jared. I'm just curious what NASA overall has thought about basically astronaut health on the moon. And as we're building the moon base, obviously the goal is going to be to keep people there much longer than 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. I've seen a lot about the infrastructure for exploration and science. I'm curious, has NASA thought yet about, hygiene and health and how the astronauts can actually live on the moon comfortably?
Sure. Well, I can open up and then, pass it over to Dr. Glaze. We obviously give a lot of thought to this. I would say in terms of the human physiology, keeping people alive for 9 months, or even we've had longer durations on the International Space Station in microgravity is about as tough as it gets. And we've been learning in that environment for 25 years. 4 or 5 days to get to the lunar surface where, your 1/6 gravity should be net positive, I would think, in that environment. But there's still a lot of other factors that kick into it. Some of you mentioned, we were just discussing earlier, what the exploration atmosphere may look like, because this isn't, right now, we communicate far in advance unless it's some sort of a contingency when we are going to undertake an EVA on the space station. We're going to go back into an environment now where we might be doing EVAs many times.
So apparently you think SpaceX is staying away from NASA to an extent at least, and Musk and Isaacson are good friends.
Over a span of a handful of days, and every time you are pressing up and depressing down is it could be an environment for potentially decompression sickness. So an area we've been studying for a long time. We've been hosting exploration atmosphere research exercise at Johnson Space Center. I think that's one example of many that we're giving thought to into this new environment, or an environment we haven't been in a long time, that we're putting our astronauts into. Laura?
As you said, we've learned an enormous amount from our experiences on the International Space Station, most certainly. There will be some differences here, but this is certainly something that is of high priority. Certainly the crew health is always, their safety is our number one concern. So we will be putting a lot of effort into that. We already are, as Jared said, with the research that's ongoing, trying to best understand how much time our crew will need to adjust to the atmosphere that is present within their pressurized suits before they can go out on an EVA. We want to maximize their time to do work on the surface, but at the same time keeping them completely safe. So we're doing a lot of research in that area. There's been already a lot of research into radiation environments and expected radiation exposure and how we can make sure we keep them safe in that environment. So yes, an enormous amount of work there.
I mean, they did mention that they're not going to be able to continue to use, they're not going to be able to get as much advancement as they want with taxpayer dollars. So I think they are looking at a lot of private investment with this. So that's kind of cool.
There, we'll continue to live and learn as we do additional Orion missions as well on how
we got enough tax dollars going over to the sand countries.
How the crew respond for these
$40 million a week, I think, to the Taliban. Hooray!
Longer-term missions. In one sense, one thing we learned a lot from Artemis 2 is just the cadence of activities. As Jared says, for a lunar surface mission, you'll probably have multiple EVAs in a shorter period of time. When we have a week or two on the surface, it's months on the station, so we may have to have a faster cadence, and that's going to mean working very closely with our friends in flight operations, with the chief medical officers to make sure that we are keeping them safe, but being able to maximize the return on the mission.
Thank you. In the back in the light blue.
Harry Toe. Isaacman was the guy who did the first private spacewalk with SpaceX Dragon.
Thank you. Marcia Smith, SpacePolicyOnline.com. You've talked a lot about what you're going to be doing on the surface. Can you talk a bit about what kind of a robust communications network you're going to be building for around the moon? And will NASA be awarding contracts for that, or are you expecting industry to do that?
I'll take that. So we already have one contract already in place to start providing the initial communications back from the moon. We actually want to expand that to provide navigation, pointing, clock, timing, and observation capabilities. Since we're going to be having a moon base, we definitely want to see what's going on in very detail from the assets on the ground and from the assets on top. So that's the first constellation. We're actually envisioning more than one. So we're exploring it. The first one was kind of more traditional type of requirements. We're exploring how we can be more flexible and allow for industry to be innovative and give us the maximum capability. We're going to have so many assets on the surface. We want to look at what's happening real time for all of them. So the amount of bandwidth requirements and needs is going to be high. So there's also interest in international partners to potentially provide some. So we will make that determination on how many and when. Coming up pretty soon, but we already have one. Certainly know we're going to have two. We'll be soliciting for that in the near future, and then we'll go from there. And certainly the first one focused on comm, the rest multi-use.
We have time for one more question, and that'll come from the phone bridge from Mike Wall with space.com.
Thank you all. This one's for Carlos. Like you said in that sort of phase 3 vision for the moon base, it's going to cover several hundred square miles. I'm just wondering, what does that look like? Are those just where the far-flung assets will be spaced out?
Come on.
Of having such an extensive kind of far-flung lunar base with such far-flung assets?
Great question for our chief architect.
Yeah, so I think there's a very important point about the moon, which is there's no one spot that does all the exploration objectives. There's no one spot that covers all the science, all the technology, all the habitation needs of the surface. And even within the local area, you have to consider the terrain. So you'll have the habitats on the tops of the hills where they get sunlight. power systems, nuclear systems need to be 1 kilometer or more away for the radiation protection. So all of these things, when you start putting them together, end up sprawling a little bit more like a city as you start building it out. And so to then have power in remote areas where you might be doing your in situ resource.
They need to be 1 kilometer away for the radiation. Radiation from what? Why do they need to be spaced out 1 kilometer? Because they're going to have nuclear-powered bases on the moon? Is that what they're talking about? Huh? I'm confused. I must have missed something. Fuck that dude. Never be first when it comes to space. Did 80 sci-fi not teach you anything?
Utilization, the aggregate mining, looking for water ice, or science operations in a different location. So it is to accomplish all that is before us requires a significant amount of distribution of assets, capabilities, and systems to do the things we're looking to do on the moon, to do the exploration and return that benefit to humanity.
And great answer. Thank you. The only thing I'll add is it's been very starking to me how little we know from what we want to accomplish. Like, we're going to want to explore different sites to really maximize the mix of scientific objectives and viability of a permanent presence, a permanent lunar base. And by phase 3, we may end up with different locations where we want to have some kind of habitation capability. So all of that, we don't want to necessarily declare now. We want to learn, we want to experiment, and we're going to build on the knowledge to start establishing the key infrastructure where we think we're going to work.
Thank you. That concludes today's news conference. Thank you to all the media who joined us and for your continued coverage of America's establishment of humanity's first lunar outpost. As a reminder, you can follow along with the missions at nasa.gov/moonbase. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Nice. Well, I enjoyed that. I think it was informative and kind of entertaining. Infotainment, guys. It's part of the name of the game here in the Dozer Den. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you got something out of that. I really do. Alright. That was nice. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of questions left unanswered. There's going to be a lot of things that they learn through doing this. I really hope that they're going to be working on ways to protect the bases that are there. Not sure what exactly that looks like. Could, missiles, maybe. I like space lasers. Let's vaporize any possible incoming debris or meteors, asteroids. That could be, we could use the moon for one of the first lines of defense against a planet or a civilization ending strike. Right, guys? Maybe? I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I'm fascinated by it. And, there's a lot there. And I'm really excited to see what comes from it. It's going to expand. It's definitely going to expand. And it's really cool to think about the prospects that this gives to humanity. Getting us to be interplanetary, one of the biggest things, like I said, is breaking through the shell of our atmosphere, fighting gravity, hitting the velocity needed to escape. If you're doing it from the moon, you don't have to do all that. Save a lot of resources, save a lot of money. Could lead to some interesting stuff. Could really expand our civilization, which would be cool. At least I think so. Alright. Well, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We have some random stuff here. I think we're going to talk about the next story might be the prison guard, who was a bit insatiable. But first, an electric tennis racket. What would you do?
An electric fly swatter. And then I got...
Yeah. You got to. Every time. Like, I would do the exact same thing. I would. Not even ashamed. I would do. You got to test. You got to make sure it's good. It's like you see an electric fence when you're, if you're out at the cow pasture, you give it a little tap. Just the first time you see it, you give it a tap just to see. Don't pee on the electric fence. That'll do you. That'll do you some damage. My brother did that once. That's funny. What'd you expect him to do? What did you? It's honestly, it's her fault. It's her fault for putting that so close to his reach. You cannot say electric fly swatter and not expect your man to not test it. You have to test it. That is just what men do.
And then I got
Jeez.
an electric fly swatter. And then I got
Right, enough of that. Silence. This is some sorcery. There's science. There's absolutely geometry to this. And the master craftsmen know what the hell they're doing. I just see this and I think that what sorcery be this? No frame and square. Oh, it's beautiful. Like, I could get that done after watching over and over again. I'm a very visual learner. Most of y'all never played Spin the Taser, and it shows. So I may or may not have had a friend in high school that their dad was a cop, and it wasn't one of the tasers that shoots out, but it was a pretty stout taser, and we may or may not have just spent like 30 minutes just fucking off, hitting each other with the taser. It was fun. Stupid, but fun. Harry told you ever fall asleep first? Got the electric fly swatter. No, never had that happen to me. No, this is the lady, guys. This is the lady, the prison guard. She has an OnlyFans. Now it says a sex-obsessed prison warden. New York Post actually got that wrong. It is a officer, prison guard. Gosh darn. Why? Why, guys? One thing, rotate the chip instead of flipping it, and the grain will line up better. Yeah. Fair. So I was thinking about the grain. I was thinking about that. But really, I mean, you're going to be looking there, but... let's see. Here's a... I don't know. Oh, here's somebody complaining about the food stamps, not paying for their sweet drinks. Hello, Entropy Nomad, coming in with a $1. $1 Rumble rant. Oh gosh darn it! What is this doing? We'll just do that. There we go. $1 Rumble rant. The chat going blue for Sanglant, guys. If the chat goes blue, you know what we got to do. If it's for Sangland, I'm thinking Entropy Nomad might want me to play one of the louder sounds, and you'll just get to see me dance, guys. We haven't done it in a minute. Piper Alley has been pulling her weight. She really has. And I feel like if we're gonna do one for Sangland, then it's got to be the loud one. Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you for that $1 Rumble rant. Get us to $13 on the night. Thanks for the support, guys. I appreciate you. It definitely helps. Every little bit helps. Let's check out this fella who is sad about his food stamps being unable to pay for unnecessary things. These are wants, not needs.
Need to drink now. What's happening, y'all?
It's happening.
You get to drink now. With your food stamps is water. Not eligible.
Oh no! Oh no! How? Are you Are you telling me you'll have to drink water? You're on food stamps, and you might have to forego sugary or sweet drinks? My God. Trump is truly a fascist, guys. This administration just does not care about poor people. God forbid, you are on assistance and you are just forced to drink water. Guys, just a sad state of affairs in this country. A sad state of affairs. I don't even know where we're at. Where are we as a country, really? This poor man.
It's happening, y'all. It's happening.
It's happening.
Go back and drink now. Not eligible. What is going on, man? What we supposed to drink now? Not eligible. Not eligible. All they're giving us is water, guys.
That's it.
I'm at HEB right now, and you can't get nothing to drink besides water. What's going on, y'all?
What a sad man.
Y'all.
So sad. Can't believe it. I really can't. Suffer and drink, the thing that you're mostly made of. Whatever. Arthur C. Clarke, Sam Kubrick, Vision of the Moon Base. Well, now I'm intrigued, Sertorius. I did not see that until just now. I'm gonna check this out. Space Odyssey. Ah, the landing. Nice. See, the only time geometry made sense to me was when my husband taught me to shoot pool. Nice. Wearing a 2K tattoo on his neck. Yeah, that's how it is. Only in America can the poor be both starving and obese at the same time. I know. It's crazy. I mean, part of that is the food's garbage. They've just manipulated our food and just genetically modified the food to be absolutely unrecognizable. But it is what it is, I suppose. Guys, you want to talk about a sex-obsessed prison guard? It says prison warden. Fix your dang headline. God. By the way, to join the dozerden.locals.com. How about now? Am I back? I don't know. I still have internet. Yeah, I've got internet. Now you guys can hear me. And I'm back. Huzzah! It took a refresh, guys. It took a refresh, and we got back. Darn it. Now let's talk about a sex-crazed prison guard. Not a warden. Not a warden, guys. Maybe we could send her to the moon. Maybe she'll keep people busy on the moon. Oh no. Sex-obsessed prison warden and OnlyFans mom filmed romping with inmate in cell regrets, quote-unquote, everything I did. Iffy but here. Well, looks like we're good. I don't know. Came back. Mine was out for almost 2 hours. They're on the spectrum, alright. Thanks for letting me know in the chat, guys. And thanks for watching wherever you may be watching. I appreciate you. And whenever you may be watching. Morning, noon, night, afternoon. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Man, we should have an image. There she is. Oh, my. She looks Latina. There are certain things that are telltale signs. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, so a sex-obsessed prison warden, actually a prison officer, not a warden, who was filmed romping. Romping. What exactly does romping mean? When I think romping through the fields, right? Just frolicking, romping about. Romping, I think, is the wrong word they're using here. I think what they mean is fucking. Coitus. Lying with. Which one? Lying. You lay down. You lay down your arms. You lie down. I don't know. Women. I know, right? No. So, seeing romping with an inmate in his cell, has said she is incredibly embarrassed and regrets the decision that saw her spending her own time behind bars. Lena... Oh, it is Latina. Linda... Listen, Linda, listen. That's what the inmate said. He said, Linda, listen. You can put this on your OnlyFans. It's going to be great. Linda De Souza Abro, a married mom and OnlyFans creator, went viral for having sex with burglar Linton Wyrich. Well, he burgled something. 39 in his cell at HMP Wandsworth in South London. With the footage showing her looking back with a huge grin as he stood behind her with his hands on her hips. Just out for a romp, they say. Out for a romp. Romper Room was a children's show back in the day. Oh, God, no. This is not safe for kids. No. Yes, Entropy. Yes. Or an anamorphic. What's an anamorphic? Anamorph? Like Animorph? From the books? When were these female high school teacher sex abusers when I was in high school? Well, they were there. They were just quieter, usually. The BBC is BBC. Oh, I don't know. Linton Wyrick. I don't know if that's BBC or not. Maybe. She says, I regret everything I did. I'm incredibly embarrassed. No, you weren't. No, you don't. You made money off of it. She told The Sun a year after being released, 5 months into her 15-month sentence for misconduct in public office. So she got 15 months. All right. But only served 5 because good behavior and all that, and Yep. Oh, you can see the tip of her card there. Look at that. You got her card on the phone. Giving away some digits. She said, I had sex with someone I shouldn't have had sex with, and I had an inappropriate relationship, but I didn't do anything else. That's all of it. That's all of the bad thing. Accountability, man. Look it up. She said of texting the convict on a phone he had illegally smuggled into the lockup. How'd he get it in there? Oh, in a cake? Maybe? No. In her cake. Da-da-dum! Ebro, who had earlier gushed on a UK TV show about how much she loved sex, said she wants to turn her life around and focus on being a mom. Yeah, you think, honey? You think maybe that would have helped your career and your just life in general if you would have done that to begin with instead of being a stank hoe? Maybe. I've just been keeping a low-key life. I just want to get on with my life. I want to keep being a good mom to my child, she said. Personal trainer, Wyrick told The Sun how he and Ebro had sex a few times inside the category B lockup before the encounter, which was recorded by a fellow inmate known only as Sharky. Okay. Sharky, that's okay. Interesting name. Linda knew it was being filmed, but didn't seem to care about it, or her job, he claimed. He said the sex followed the warden constantly being flirty with him. Get a normal habit, like cocaine. I know. Send her over to Nick. Okay. Well, the hands on the hips behind her. Okay, all right. She wasn't a warden. She was an officer. So I guard. It was obvious she liked me, he said. The romp went viral as and Ebro was arrested at Heathrow Airport after she tried to catch a flight to Madrid, having called her employers to say she was not returning to work. She tried to leave the country. Holy shit. She was getting out of there. Ebro tried to blame the romp on the prison being understaffed. The prosecutor, Teta Turkson, said she was an enthusiastic participant who wrongly thought she would avoid... Yeah, I bet she was. This is a shocking breach of the public's trust. There was a breach involved there, a breach, and yeah, I would say she probably did enjoy. She was an enthusiastic participant in this activity. My God, the degeneracy, absolute degeneracy. Wow. Okay. Put the lady in Massachusetts men's maximum security correctional institution for a year. I don't know. I'll name a guy. I'll name a guy named Sharky. The romp. I know. That's what they're calling it. They're calling it a romp. Sex. Come on, New York Post. Just say the thing. We're adults here. Even though some of us have the humor of 12-year-olds. Alright? Jesus. That's fun. Wow. If I play this, they're gonna freaking strike me on YouTube. I am on YouTube tonight. YouTube, Rumble, X, all over the place, guys. All over. Pilled. Can't forget about Pilled. Alright. Let me see if I had anything else for you guys. Let's see. Apparently mounds are a really prevalent thing. Like, in this country, I did not know that there was so much mound, like, lore. There's a lot. Like, the Cahokia mounds up in, like, Illinois, northern Illinois, are something I know of. This is fascinating. I don't know how accurate this is, but look at all these. This makes me want to do some exploring. I mean, I'm in the Boot Heel, southeast Missouri. I could do some searching. I want to find some mounds. And I'm like, this site has been showing all kinds of LiDAR. So Mound Lore, aptly named, has been doing a bunch of scans. Here's like Indiana once had an amusement park built onto one of its oldest surviving ceremonial landscapes, Mound State Park. Heard of that? Around 160 BC, people were already moving earth above the White River and building a ceremonial complex that still survives in pieces today. 10 earthworks remain. Wow, that goes into great detail. Look at this, though. It's crazy. See, with the scan, you can see the mounds. It's all covered by trees and growth. It's interesting to see some of these pictures from the aerial view of these. You're more of an Almond Joy guy. I feel you. Man, look at that, hairy toe. Hello, YouTube. Finally broke over 100 subscribers on YouTube. Thanks to the people that subscribe over there. They're following for the shorts, which is fine. I like putting the shorts out. You guys should check my shorts out on Rumble, by the way. Shouldn't there be a repost feature for the shorts? Like, wouldn't that make sense? I think that would make sense. That way more people are able to see the shorts. Because right now, discoverability is crap on Rumble. I'm not sure what that's about. I've literally, the first month it was pretty interesting, but here's this, man, I have some really negative thoughts about this story. The whole Carmelo Anthony stabbing Austin Peterson. Well, his twin brother got to accept. So let me just go ahead and read this from David Harris Jr. The arena filled with a standing ovation as Hunter Metcalf accepted the posthumous diploma for his twin brother Austin Metcalf, who was fatally stabbed in the chest last year. Austin passed away in his brother's arms after the alleged stabbing. It's a stabbing. It's not alleged. You don't even have to say alleged. A stabbing by Carmelo Anthony. Anthony's been charged with first-degree murder and could face up to 99 years in prison if convicted. If he gets off somehow, guys, that is a reason to get in the streets and protest. 100%. Yes. Yeah, we should be able to do that. The emotional moment happened during Memorial High School's graduation ceremony in Frisco, Texas, where the crowd gave a heartfelt round of applause, lasting around 30 seconds. Let's check it out. Positive energy. Positive energy, because we need positive energy, guys. We need it. Even though it's sadness. The community's behind them.
Hunter Metcalf will accept the posthumous diploma in honor of his brother, Austin Metcalf.
Yes! Yes! All in, baby! All in!
Hunter Metcalf.
Yeah, they better actually find this guy guilty. If they don't find him guilty, it's gonna be that would be a reason for people to get pissed off. I'm not saying you burn things. They just make your voice heard. Aggressively. Assertively. Not aggressively. Real quick. Assertively make your voices heard. Don't, like, burn things down like Wendy's or Walgreens. Just be a show of force. A show of force, that would be nice. Because there's a lot of people that don't like what happened. And, we need accountability. Carmelo Anthony. Life in prison. That's what I say. That is what I say. Oh, really quick, UFO stuff, before we hop on out of here. Some images from Dr. Stephen Greer. That case could be a race war no matter the outcome. I mean, the correct outcome is Carmelo Anthony faces life in prison. But what's up, S. Henson 1980? Heidi ho, neighbor. Good to see you. It's Michigan sub. Michigan also has a mound builder history. Cool. Just move some dirt. TR3B stuff, guys. Stephen Greer posted some stuff, I guess. My images on this large Avanta Black Triangle UAP are far better quality and not behind a paywall nor event. Dr. Stephen Greer, come on, man. Everything I share is free as well, not copyrighted. He's talking stuff on Stephen Greer because they're making money. They are. And part of it. Look at this. Look at this, Entropy Nomad. Here you go. TR3B. TR3B. The way I heard it, he was stealing a cop. Murder is a commission of a crime. Yep. Look at that. Guys, this is definitely military craft. I want one. Okay? I want one. Gimme my TR3B. Do it now. Do it now. Thought you would enjoy these images. 2019 Orlando, Florida, of Avanta Black Triangle. Shaped craft with 3 lights, one on each of the vertices. Yes. Yes, indeed. I want it. I want it. This keeps coming up. And I'm just thinking, with these people like, Ross Coulthart, or however you pronounce his name, coming out repeatedly and talking about this stuff, if nothing comes from this, like, is it gonna be like the people who claim the apocalypse is nigh, the end is coming, and then nothing happens, and then it's like, oh well, actually, our prophecy was slightly off, and it's actually just give us more money. Is that what it's gonna be with these guys? I hope not. I hope not. There's supposed to be an orb in the middle of the TR3B. Fair point. The purple bulge in the middle. Ooh. Entropy Nomad's talking about purple bulges.
There's a lot of speculation, I'm hearing it from people inside the administration, that the Trump administration is indeed soliciting advice about how to tell the public that we're not alone. There are consultations taking place with spiritual leaders. I'm now able to confirm that. There was some speculation a couple of weeks ago about a group of pastors, but it turned out that it wasn't directly related to the White House. But there are religious leaders that have been consulted by the White House. I'm aware of people in the administration who've reached out. I've actually spoken to people myself who've asked what I think would be the, quote, ontological shock for the public. And I've told them that, frankly, I think the bigger shock for the public would be the sense of a betrayal of trust if the government doesn't follow through and tell the whole story. There's a lot of speculation.
The whole story what you're saying, or is that something else? I don't know. Alright, tell what you got. Got something from that recent UFO drop? USO near the subs? Where does that start? Because I kind of missed it the last time. So I think I had a couple drinks or something. Harry Joe, where do the orbs show up? Because I did see somebody breaking it down a little bit more fully. And you only want to take, my bad. Tanks would be nice. I know someone who was a sub commander, and I'll let you know his opinion. Nice. We already don't trust you. I mean, yeah, I know. It's like, it's even if they came out with it, it's like, do I trust them? No, I don't. Did you say the orbs show up in about 2 minutes? Is that what it is? There, at one point, they said somebody pointed out that there were actually birds, because I showed this one to Lady Dozer, and she's like, "Oh, that's just a bird," and I was like, "Nah, I don't think it is." But Yanni Fangs, dude, good to see you, man. Yanni Fangs, freaking showing up. Bit of a hiatus. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome back to the Dozer Den. Back on the internet some. Love you, brother, and all the old chat gang. Hell yeah, Yanni Fangs. Glad you're back. I want a tank with a 5 megawatt railgun. Yes! I advocate for this. Everybody should own one. That's how it be. That's what the Second Amendment says. Harry Toe with a whoosh, slap of that peach. Guys, don't forget, you can hit that repost button. Commenting, liking, sharing. With all your loved ones, friends, family, ex-girlfriends, boyfriends, Caesar's and friends. I'm not judging, okay? Keep it consensual. Between adults, preferably behind closed doors. We are looking at orbs around a sub. I think it starts in about 2 minutes. Maybe. But I think there are things that you might not necessarily notice because they're kind of faint. And at one point, they did actually have birds flying. I forgot who was providing a little bit of an analysis. But they did, like, oh, there's one. Right there. Boom. That was just 48 seconds in. Look at that. That's going very fast. The going in and out of water thing is what trips me out. It's just tapping along. Looks like it's almost skipping over the water, doesn't it? We supposedly don't have anything that can do this. Supposedly. Dude, Yanni Fangs, I've been all about the UFO stuff. I'm just ready for a body. Show me a body. Do it. Think it's a fast bird? Maybe. My soul is ready. Show me the bodies. Show me the agreement that you have with whatever, Pleiadians or whatever. Badger in my butt. It's probably just Millhouse. Probably. There's another one. And then into the water, and oh. Did that one go in the water? I will say, I think that they've, like, this drop had some more interesting ones. Yeah, that's just, like, in and out, bounce. Yep, right in. Boom, right there. Right there. So pops out, back in. Holy, and then stops, and then, okay, that one has slowed down for a sec. At least, or they just lost track. $1 billion sub and no protection when it surfaces. There's another one. Okay, that one's kind of slowing. Well, they've got the drone as acting as protection, from what I understand. I forgot the class of drone it is, but that's one of the, at least surveillance. Oh, there's one up there. Another one. Boom. At least surveillance. No, maybe not tactical, like, protection. You just can't do much underwater. They float too hard, yeah. This is one of the most, like, trippy ones. And the one where the acceleration. The instantaneous acceleration. That was fascinating. Ostrich with an O2 tank. This could be our drones, and most likely they are, but it's strange. It is strange. And I definitely don't think that some of these things that are doing stuff that, like, doing the things that these things are doing, like, you wouldn't have people in some of these. That one with the instantaneous acceleration, that would, like, liquefy a human body, wouldn't it? I don't know. Unless it's a trick of the camera. Could be. Who shot the film? This is from a drone. So a drone around the ship. The sub. This is military footage. That balloon pop one was a slap in the face, though. Seriously, screw them for releasing that and acting like they didn't know what that was. Of course that was a balloon. Looks like a satellite. I mean, it could be. Yeah. Oh, the one I'm thinking of that had the drone, was the balloon one. Yeah. Many things, like cormorant and some waterfowl. There you go. The balloon was goofy. I was like, why? Then someone's like, oh, but look at the orb thing behind the balloon. Another one up here? Oh, wait, that might be a bird. Maybe. No? Yeah, I don't know what that one was. It's trippy stuff. Trippy stuff indeed. Watch The Expanse. Hard burns require lots of drugs. Then the slingshot getting plastered at the ring. Interesting. Cool stuff. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate that, Harito. Actually, might have a couple. Thought I did. Thought I had one saved here. I had one more UFO thing saved. Here's just a brief clip showing some of the most interesting ones. Another Ross Coulthart interviewer, kind of. I don't want to go that far out into the. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that cell was pretty far out there, wasn't it? Are we sure we know where it was though? That's the question. I don't know. This story. This story has to be just bullcrap, right? CIA accused of using Ancestry and 23andMe to hunt down alien bloodlines in millions of DNA tests. The whistleblower, quote unquote, this is coming from, has, I think, a credibility issue. Just a little bit. Let's look at this video here, and we might actually check that article out, just because I'm curious. I'm curious how much nonsense is in that Daily Mail piece. The Daily Mail has some good hits. They do. And then, not really.
I'm aware of people in the administration who are consulting with religious leaders, and there seems to be a concerted consideration being given by the administration to the possibility of admitting
honestly,
that
this son of a gun. I'm done listening to him. I just want to look at the videos. This little compilation of clips they've got going on. That's what I'm interested in. The three one, that was interesting. Oh, here's a closer one. That's going really slow. Wait a second. I'll let her talk.
Absolutely. I think one of the primary reasons why the military and the intelligence community don't want to reveal what they know about a non-human intelligence is because their job is to reassure.
Balloon. It's a weather balloon. How dare they? How dare they? I don't like it.
Us in the public that they've got their finger on the pulse and they know how to deal with any potential threat. Now, nobody's...
But then, like, someone said, okay, this was right up here. Right, this block up here to the left of that little block, that square block's up there. They were like, oh, that's what they're actually looking at. No, it's not.
Saying there's going to be a...
No, that's I don't think so. Why'd they shoot the balloon then?
an alien invasion. Nobody's saying there's any imminent threat. But by definition, if you're a military person and you know that there is a technology, a highly advanced civilization that's capable of technologies and weaponries and systems that are far beyond known human technology, you don't want to admit that to either the president or the public in a hurry without having some way of being able to reassure the public first.
I hear it. A Ross Coulthard, always fascinating.
Some of this stuff is just ours, and we just don't know about it, I think. And, man, do you guys want to check this one out? I want to check this one out. Just a second. Did I save this for Thursday, maybe? You know what? I think I'm going to save this one for Thursday. That's what I think I'm going to do. So, the headline pretty much is, you know, CIA, other intelligence agencies have used 23andMe and, you know, Ancestry.com to search the population for alien DNA. Now, we've known that they're misusing the DNA from 23andMe, like these Ancestry, these places that are telling you they're going to be able to track, you know, tell you what you're made up of, right? That's been a thing. Like, if you weren't aware of that, yeah, that's what they're doing. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But, good lord. Let's see. Excuse me. So you know a few that the balloon is goofy. It was around the same time in 2023 when China was sending up balloons where, yeah, sending spy stuff. Yeah. Look at that. Y'all getting along in the chat. Wow. 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 Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to wait for that. This one for Thursday. We're going to go through that article and discuss the things. Guys, we need some Nordics. We need some Nordics. But I want to leave you guys with something first. Ooh, this one's just interesting. It's most likely just a whirlwind. Just stirring it up. But this is first of all, did you guys know crop circles are still happening? And most of them are probably fake. There are some that are kind of interesting. But this is just a cool video. And they're acting like it's, you know, aliens or something. They're trying to say there's no other wind. But this could just be a little dust up, like dust devil, but there's no dust, so you're not seeing that. It's interesting that it goes directly for the crop circle, though. That's kind of cool.
Gente, eu tô muito intrigado com esse negócio.
Yes, Don Duster, a lot of people do. You know what? It's interesting. It's interesting. Trying to figure out, you know, what your makeup is.
Porque ele tá se movendo. Ele tá indo literalmente em direção do círculo ali, ó.
Alright, I can't understand her, so I'm muting her. But there's the crop circle, and this just random whirlwind in the wheat field, just heading toward the crop circle. It's interesting. I'm not saying it's, you know, someone's like, oh, it's a fairies, it's fairies visiting the, and they're like, come on. I don't know about all that. Maybe, but I kind of doubt it. It is interesting that it goes directly for the crop circle. And there are people in the crop circle. So they gotta be like, okay, if I'm standing in a crop circle and then just a freaking twister shows up, like that. It's got some power to it. It's getting after it. There you go, Essenson. Rusty sock for the Ancestry.com. Really, it's the most reasonable thing to do. Not the little Q-tip where they swab your cheek. Nah. Goes right into the crop circle, and there's people. I guess they're filming it. That freaked me out. Not gonna lie. I don't know how that's the biggest proof of extraterrestrial life on that. It's interesting. Don't get me wrong. It goes in, does its thing, and then starts to head right back out. If you put sand on a speaker and play a note, it will form a pattern. Understand natural things happen. Yes. A fun coincidence, though. A very, very fun coincidence. Just a heck of a good world. And there's clearly more wind. The people say, oh, there's no wind. Yeah, there is. You can see the wind in the wheat field going. This just happened to be a good... If this was a dusty field, it would be a dust devil. I saw a freaking tall one the other day. Thankfully we got some rain, though. Yeah. But yeah, crop circles. They're still happening. And yeah, most of them are probably fake. But, you know, it's cool to think about. Cool to think about, guys. Just went for chat. Not worth playing on stream. Gotcha, Sanglan. Alright, guys. Well, it's about 2.5 hours into the show. I have work in the morning, and Lady Dozer's home and probably wants to hang out for at least a few minutes before she goes to bed. I'll be up for a little bit. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Dozer Den. If you could kindly repost this stream. When you repost, all the people that follow you are going to see your repost. And it goes in a repost tab up at the top of Rumble. The idea is that we will welcome more Killdozers here into the Dozer Den, guys. We are going to raid out to somebody on Pill.net and on Rumble. We're going to raid Third Railify on Pill.net. And who are we going to raid on Rumble? Let's do a refresh. And I do like to shout out those that repost and comment, because you guys are helping the channel grow. And the likes, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. I see 20 people watching. I see 17 likes. And 1 thumbs down. Oh, no. How sad. Somebody's been angered. Let's see. Yeah, I'm the only repost. It's a very free way to help the channel grow by reposting, guys. Just saying. Just saying. What's up, Rotex? Hippie? Good to see you. Imagine being abducted by a UFO, dropped off on Epstein Island, returned, and tell people you were anal probed. Yes. Probably how it all happened. And good night to those that are taken off. Oh, yeah. You're very welcome, Don Darkstar. Let me see who we're going to raid on Rumble. Who are we going to raid? Let's see. Raid. You guys want to go to a degenerate? Let's see. Oh, let's do Joey Cannoli. Let's raid Joey Cannoli. He's not a degenerate. I mean, maybe, but I was on with him one time. We'll raid out to Joey Cannoli. Why not? Been on for 44 minutes. Yes. Guys, check him out. Tell him the Dozer Den sent you. He's getting close to 1,000 followers. Hell yeah. He's at 17 likes in one. Oh, wait. Nope, 21 likes. Just a moment here. I need to turn on the echo cancellation. My God. Just heard myself. Seems like there's a little bit of static going on, too. My bad if the audio sounded like crap tonight, y'all. Alright. We're going to send you out here in a minute. Appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Thanks for being here. And thanks for your continued support in whatever way you were able to support the channel, whether it be through donations or just through spreading the word. So, heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Glad you're back, dude. Yanni Fangs making his triumphant return in 5/26/2026. Heck yeah. Alright, guys. We are going to play the Dozer Den theme song before I hop on out of here, because that is what we do. Wait till we get to the knife before I send you guys out of here. And yes, it's going to freeze for a second because that's what Canvas 2.0 does. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's rock. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Dozer Den. Y'all have a good one.